Welcome to the Put on Waivers Media Group, home of the Put on Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right podcast. This is your place for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
Welcome, everybody, to the glorious episode of the Student Body Right USC podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, and as always, I am podcasting at the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean. Beautiful day out here in Southern California. PORSPR is my Twitter handle, so check me out there. USC. The USC on the Lincoln Riley. Now I think it's 4-12 now. Oh, sorry, 4-11 against teams that are ranked. Again, another just a brutal loss to it's gonna sound bad because it sounds like I'm like shitting on Illinois. I'm not. I think they're a solid program, but they're a mid program. Like sometimes some years they're gonna be up, some years they're gonna be down. They're not a perennial power, if you will. So when I say a mid program, it just means to me like you're just right in the middle. You're right in the middle of the pack. You're not like a big time program. You're a solid program. You know, I mean, like we expect Vanderbilt to be solid. We expect Illinois to be solid, but not, a team that can win the national championship, right? I think even the biggest Illini fan would say they're not a threat to win the national championship. But that being said, USC, of course, fell on their face again. And I think under Lincoln Riley, this game reminds me of every single, like the Maryland game, the Utah game from year one. Like when it comes to like the little things that help you win games, USC doesn't do those things on Lincoln Riley. They don't do any of those things, and I think that's probably the most frustrating thing about this whole Lincoln Riley year 4 experience. I mean, this is year 4. This is year 4, bro. Like, I mean, where's the growth from him being a coach? Where's the growth of him like kind of taking over the whole game? Like, at halftime or after the first quarter, like he should have been in Dayton Lynn's hind parts saying, "Bro, what are we doing to stop the run? We cannot allow this team to be in 3rd and 2." Second and 3 every single play, every single drive. You can't just worry about your playbook. And that's the thing that people always, his playbook is beautiful. His playbook is masterful. It's fun to watch him call plays. But I mean, that's what OCs do. Suggesting plays is what quarterback coaches do sometimes. But when you're a guy who is supposed to be a big time head coach, your team is supposed to be ready to play. From the first drive, you knew in this game the only way USC loses this game is if they turn the ball over. And you knew that probably, Jaden Mayaba at some point was going to throw a pick soon because he went 4 games without a pick. He's had 1 turnover in 5 games. Like, I mean, so I can't really get so like totally mad at Jaden for that pick. But Jaden's fumbles are a thing. And you have to like have a conversation with him like, hey, listen, we can beat this team. This team on film cannot stop us on any drive. I think they had an interception and they had I think they forced maybe 1 or 2 punts. But after that, I mean, the USC just moved the football at will against them. At will. So if that's the case, he has to wrap up the ball. It has to be 2 hands on the ball. It has to be 2 hands on the ball on that first drive. You cannot put the ball on the ground. It's just like Marshawn Lloyd stuff. He made some great runs in his career with the Raiders. I'm sorry, with the Trojans, but he turned the ball over a lot. I mean, two fumbles. Like it's after you get that first one against Georgia Southern, that first drive. Okay, bro. All right, we got you. But like, and like, listen, we love Waymo, but I mean that first drive, you cannot put the ball on the ground. And I understand the other guys on the other team are getting paid too. But like even later in that game, it's still he still was the ball was still kind of a little bit, loaf of bread, kind of holding the football out and away from your body. Of course, we're supposed to have the best of the best here, right? Supposed to have one of the best coaches in Lincoln Riley. Supposed to have one of the best running back coaches in all of college football, right? And we're still fumbling in big games. And that's not to say that I'm gonna give Dayton Lynn a pass here, but Dayton Lynn's not the head coach. Dayton Lynn's not the head coach. Lincoln can't ignore the other side of the football. The other side of the football, he just can't ignore it. He can't ignore it. I mean, just throwing money at it and throwing coaches at it. You got Lenny over here talking to people asking him about maybe wanting to be a head coach one day. I mean, head coach, head coach. Bro, I mean that defense against the run is just like no run blitzes in that game. No bear fronts, no nothing against this is not they did nothing in this game to make you feel like okay, they're attempting to stop the run. It was literally the same, same, every 5 seconds, same front with gaps in it, no linebackers coming through. I mean, I would have went to a 4-3 in this game to stop the run. Do something to stop the run. Run blitz. Do something. You're giving up yards to just one of the most anemic running games in all of college football. You gave 140 yards to. And that's where Lincoln has to come in and say, bro, like on offense, they cannot stop us. I got this side. I need you to do whatever it takes to stop the run. If you got to put 4 down linemen and it's Silver, Pepe, and Ja, and then you know what I mean, and Thanos, like do that with 3 linebackers behind it. Do it. I don't care. Get me a 3rd and long. But those little runs of 6, 7 yards on 1st down destroyed any kind of pass rush. This whole big bad defensive line that USC has, you can't have a mega pass rush when it's 3rd and 2. You can't, bro. And as a head coach, and it still says you're the head coach of the team, you gotta represent as far as the head coaching part of it. Like that is the problem. It just never feels like it feels like it's two separate teams. It's what the defense does, and it's what Lincoln Riley does with his playbook. And to waste, I mean, the efforts that were wasted in this game. I mean, people are blowing up my phone as like because a lot of folks who live on the East Coast, live in the Midwest, who are friends of mine. They're like, dude, I never knew Makai Lemon was that dude. I mean, you literally wasted a Makai Lemon masterpiece. What a comeback by Jaden Mayava, who threw his first pick, but then just had the courage to do whatever. Killing O'Connor goes down. You feel awful for Killian O'Connor. We were praising Killian O'Connor left and right. So I feel awful about Killian O'Connor, right? And then, the backup comes in and doesn't do his job. I mean, it does his job blocking, but then on one of the best trick plays you ever see in your life, you end up having to have that call back because it's a illegal man downfield. Like those things, those are the things that are just not, they're not button up. The USC is talented. They have players everywhere, but you know, honest to God, they're just not buttoned up enough. It's never buttoned up enough. They're never ever buttoned up enough. And it's the most annoying, sickening thing to watch. That these little things, that all these Big Ten, this is the wrong conference. I'll tell you that right now. Our rival Notre Dame, and with a company with this conference, it's the wrong conference for that. We play the wrong teams to think that we can actually get away with these little things here and there. You can't get away with that stuff. These little mistakes. These other teams in the Big Ten, they live on those. They don't have, some of these teams don't have the immense talent, physical talent that a USC has. So their job is to keep the game as close as possible and just prey on you until you make that one mistake. And you saw that USC made that one mistake with the fumble. They made that one mistake, defensively, cannot get out of their own way, stopping the run. I mean, that was really one of the most inept offensive teams running the football, and they couldn't stop the run. I mean, all you had to do was get this game in fourth down. I mean, third down, third and long. You get this game in third and long, you got a chance. I don't think he faced a third. I think he faced 1 3rd and 15, and that was it. And of course, the one time that Illinois faced a 3rd and 15, Danton Lid said, "I'm gonna rush 3." And if you watch this channel, you know how me, Ryan Holmes, and everybody else feels about rushing 3. Like you're not gonna get there, and you're just giving the guy just mad time to throw the football. I mean, it was just a really awful, brutal, just terrible loss. I mean, they gave Illinois a homecoming to remember. Like how many of these teams you're going to lose to? Like how many Marylands and Illinois and Minnesotas is Lincoln Riley going to lose to? This is Clay Helton, folks. Clay Helton had fancier receivers too, and quarterbacks who put up good numbers. But what this really is Clay Helton. He just gets paid more. Maybe I feel a little bit better if they beat Michigan, but even if you beat Michigan, then you got to beat Notre Dame. Yeah, they get back. You got those games back to back. That's why this Illinois game was so ridiculous. Was so important. It was mega important. Now you got 3 straight games that if you have any designs of going to the playoffs, you have to win these 3 straight games, which is highly unlikely that they're going to win 3 straight of these games. Highly unlikely they're going to win 3 of those games. Notre Dame got to a terrible start, but they're scoring 40 points a game now. And they don't have Riley Leonard anymore. They have a quarterback who can sling it. CJ Carr is slinging it. He's slinging all over the place. They're throwing bombs all over the place. And they look like a very difficult team to beat. And maybe USC shouldn't play Notre Dame because they're not on their level. Like, maybe they should just get him off the schedule until they actually have a team that can actually compete with Notre Dame. Because with the Big Ten schedule and Notre Dame, it's too much for a Lincoln Riley coach to handle. I mean, he's literally going to miss out. I mean, I'll say again, I say this all the time. Number one, it is not a birthright for him to be the coach of USC. And he is now working under Chad Bowden and Jen Cohen. Two people who did not hire him. I repeat, they did not hire him. And that buyout, you start talking to the board members, like you will do what you gotta do. That could be a sign of like, hey, you know what? I can really let's just pull the plug. I mean, I'm sure Chad Bowden has a long list of people who he would take and get to USC for this job. I mean, it's just a brutal loss. It's brutal in every single possible way. It's brutal, borderline embarrassing, but brutal. You have a good head coach over there, a guy who knows how to keep games close for the most part. We knew that it was an anomaly out there in Indiana when they played Indiana. You knew they were going to play better, but that should have lasted for like 2.5 quarters. At some point, the USC should have created separation in this game, but they just couldn't. They just couldn't. All right, our Trojan fans. Super Right USC podcast. We will trudge on. USC is going into a bye week this week, so we'll do some stuff here. We're looking at some look at some tape a little bit, do some tape reviews, do some stuff coming up here. Coach B will be here later in the week, and we'll just kind of break some things down as USC gets ready for Michigan. Sold out Coliseum. Can't be Illinois. Sell out against Michigan. Doesn't the Michigan game kind of remind you of the Penn State game last year? You're gonna have kind of the same result. I can tell you, if he has that defensive front, at the line of scrimmage the same way that he had it against Illinois, against Michigan, if you're there at the game, you can just walk right out because they're going to rush the ball for 40 times and they're going to rush for 300 yards. I mean, talk about never stopping their running football. The Michigan Wolverines are never going to stop running the football against USC, no matter what the score is. So USC can start the game off 17-0. They're going to run the football and get back in and do whatever they can to get back in the game running the football. Just so you know. Just so you're aware. All right, folks. Terrible loss. We'll see you next time. We'll talk about some other stuff with the Trojans coming up here this week. Get you relaxed for a bye week. Can't lose this week. Got to bye. Peace. Fight on.